Hey guys, it's Spooky Noodles, and I hit record a little too early. I wasn't prepared exactly, but I'm gonna roll with it. Hey guys, it's Spooky Noodles, and it is bright as fuck in my room right now, so I apologize for this huge glare going on right now, but it's that time of day where the sun's kind of deciding to go down soon. So it hasn't made up its mind, I guess, and now it's just shining very bright into my bedroom. So you get this very big glow. I might change it in a second. In fact, I will be right back. That is better. Alright guys, I am here with a January TBR 2020. This is just what I plan to read this month. If I get to all these books, I'm a slow reader, so I tend to read 2 to 3 books a month, so that's why I'm prepared with 3 books here. This might also continue on into February, who knows. This is the first day, and I'm like 20% done with the book I'm reading right now, so I might finish this book soon and then move on to the next. But I got them in order right here. So what I'm currently reading is, you probably guys know because I keep harping about it, is A Nest of Nightmares by Lisa Tuttle. And I am 26 pages into it, and there's 200 pages into it. 200 pages in it, so you do the math. So I'm like 10-20% done with it. It's very good so far. I'm enjoying it very much. I'm enjoying it a lot, and yeah. This first story I read was about this lady who moves in with her aunt, and her aunt has this secret strange lover that she struggles to understand why, and then she figures out why in the end. But it's a very good short story. It's one of my favorite short stories of all time. It goes behind Mr. Mac in the Monster Mobile. That's my favorite short story of all time. Then it's The Fly by George, I want to say Langland. I can't remember his last name for the life of me. But I'm on to the next story in this book called Dahlberger, which is good so far. I wonder where it's going to go. But yeah, that's what I'm currently reading, and this is for sure what I'm reading in January. Then I have Douglas Clegg's Coming of Age, 3 Dark Novellas. New York Times best-selling author. So I didn't know that about Douglas Clegg. And the 3 stories or novellas in this are Purity, The Words, and The Attraction. So that's the next book I'm going to read after A Nest of Nightmares. I couldn't help it. I know I'm doing a ladies first 20 challenge. But I thought I'd slide this in between my little challenge, so I can get that coming of age TBR going a little bit. I honestly can't wait to read this. This is just such a cool little thing. I have been dying to read coming of age novels, and I find out that one of the authors that I've been collecting came out with a little novella pack, I guess you can call it. And yeah, the first chapter is called Why I Called You Here, and it's part of this story called Purity. And it doesn't, where does it say when Purity starts? Okay, here it is, Purity. And this story is about it's about a dangerous obsession with a young man and a woman, and yeah. Then the second one is The Words, and that one sounds a little bit more interesting. A guy befriends a outcast rebel, and the outcast rebel has some dark rituals and stuff like that, games he plays. So then the last one's The Attraction. And I don't really know what it's about, so I'm going in the dark with that one. But I'm very, very excited for this book. Douglas Clegg's Neverland has been on my coming of age TBR list for a while now, and to see that he has something shorter that's coming of age is awesome. I get to taste his writing before I get into him, and honestly, I might have him as my 4th book. If I were to have a 4th book on this TBR, it was probably going to be Neverland by Douglas Clegg. I only say this is my January TBR because these are the books I'm probably going to get to in January. I probably won't get to Neverland by Douglas Clegg until February. So we'll see. My dog's chewing on a water bottle in the background, so I apologize for that. But yeah, Coming of Age by Douglas Clegg. If you haven't gotten this yet, get it. We could do a buddy read or something. I'm just kidding. But it does sound like a very interesting book. I can't wait to give it a shot. I just love coming of age so much. So anytime I see something about coming of age, I immediately get it. There's actually this science novel or novella, I can't remember what it was, that is coming of age, and I've never read a science fiction coming of age story, so I think I might get that. But that's number 2. After A Nest of Nightmares, I'm reading this. And then last but definitely not least, this kinda is in my coming of age TBR because I've heard great things about it, and it has a bunch of stuff on it. I wish I could clean it off. Some of it I think is like burnt into the book. But the book is House of Illusions, and you barely can see this cover. I once took a picture of it, and you could see the cover pretty well in that picture I took a long time ago. But honestly, you can't see the cover at all, so I apologize. Oops, I closed something out. But this book sounds very interesting. And I'm very excited to read it. Someone said it was a coming of age novel between 2 girls living with their father. So I'm taking their what they said for fact, and I'm hoping that this can fit in with my TBR that I'm doing, my coming of age TBR, and it goes with my challenge to read a ladies first 20 challenge, to read a woman author first. And I'm reading Lisa Tuttle first, and then going to Douglas Clegg, but then I'm continuing the challenge by reading Ruby Jean Jensen. So I'm looking very forward to this book. It's about this girl. It's about Amy and Jody, and I'll just read the synopsis for you. Amy and Jody had been scared to stay with their dad for the very first time since the divorce. But living with the traveling carnival for the summer turned out to be fun. The glimmering lights on the Midway, riding the Ferris wheel, and eating hot dogs and cotton candy for dinner was their idea of pure heaven. But it turned into a hellish nightmare the day Jody stepped into the amazing House of Illusions. It was there that she saw the clowns, with their big red noses, fluffy white hair, floppy shoes, and deadly grins. It was no illusion that these clowns were hungry for death. And when they set out to kill, they weren't just clowning around. And I love that synopsis. That synopsis is so good. I love the little punchline at the end. They're not just clowning around. So, an evil clown book that's supposedly a coming of age. And people say that this is not a bad one. I hear mixed reviews about this. Like, I heard people say it's good. I've heard people say it's bad. It's not her best. But it seems to be in the middle of the road for a Ruby Jean Jensen book. I don't know what her best novel is. I guess it would be like some of her doll or evil children stuff. I don't know. I'm not huge on RJJ yet. Or RJJ. However you want to call her. Or whatever you want to call her. I already read the prologue for you guys, and I found it very interesting, and I couldn't really put it down. So I'm looking forward to reading more. But that is my third book in my January TBR. If I get to another book, which I highly doubt, because usually 3 is my limit. But if I do get to another one, I will read Neverland by Douglas Clegg, or at least I'll start it. It's definitely going in my February TBR, so when February comes, I'll talk about the books I'm reading then. But right now, it's A Nest of Nightmares, Coming of Age by Douglas Clegg, or A Nest of Nightmares by Lisa Tuttle, my bad. Coming of Age, Three Dark Novellas by Douglas Clegg, and then House of Illusions by Ruby Jean Jensen. So that is what I am currently reading and what I will be reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will love to hear what you guys are reading. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Have a spooky night. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys, as I'm not really an ebook guy, but I do have an ebook I'm reading called The Turtle Boy. And I might get around to that this month. I'm not sure. We'll see. But I'm really gonna try to get to it. But we'll like I said, we'll see. So yeah.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.